Alright, ready for the next video. Section 1.6, finding a rule for a linear graph. Now this is really just building on what we already know from our last exercise, so this won't be too difficult. The different things we're going to look at: horizontal lines, vertical lines, given the gradient and the y-intercept, how do I find the rule? Given the gradient and 1 point on the line, how do I find the rule? And also, how do I find the rule given 2 points? First of all, we've got horizontal lines. These are super easy. I'm not kidding when I say that. The y-coordinate doesn't change, therefore the equation is always just y equals a number where n is the constant value of the y-coordinate. Here you can see I've got a horizontal line going through y equals 3. So what's the equation of the line? Y equals 3. It's that easy. The second one there, it's a little bit thin, but we can make it out. That's going through -1. Check that the scale has changed there. What's the equation of a horizontal line that passes through -1? Y equals -1. You guessed it. Last one here, there's 2. That must mean that point there is 1. Looks like this one is going through a y-coordinate of 1.5. So you can write that as y equals 3/2, or if you prefer, y equals 1.5. Very easy horizontal lines. Y equals a number. Find one of the y-coordinates, you've got the equation of the whole line. Let's have a look at vertical lines. Almost exactly the same, except of course the vertical line. So instead of y equaling a number, the equation will be in the form x equals a number, as the x coordinate will never change. In this one, it doesn't matter what point I pick on the line. You'll see there, that's the point 4, 2. If I pick another point on the line, 4, -2, the intercept itself, 4, 0, you can see the x coordinate never changes, so the equation of that line would be x equals 4. Here, different scale, same thing, 10, 11, 12, 13. -13 is what it goes through, so x will equal -13 anywhere on that line. Finally, what about if the line is on the y-axis? What would the equation of that line be? Well, the x-coordinate at any point on the y-axis is 0, so the equation of that line is just x equals 0. Nice and easy. What about the gradient intercept form of a line? If I'm given the gradient and the y-intercept, just replace them in the equation y equals mx plus c. Remember, m, that's the gradient or the slope, and c, that's the y-intercept. There we go. So here, let's find the gradient first of all. I'm down at -4 and I go up to 4. That looks like it's going up 4. It's going up 8 units. And it's going across in the same time from -4 to 0, 4. So if I wanted to find the gradient, remember gradient rise divided by run. In this case, it's gone up 8 and along 4. That's a gradient of 2. The y-intercept, it's given to us. The y-intercept is 4. Therefore, the equation of that line is y equals 2x plus 4. Let's have a look at the next one over here. Same thing, work out the gradient, count up how far up it goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up 5. How far across have we gone? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the gradient is 5/5, or just 1. What would the equation of that line be? Well, the y-intercept's 3, the gradient's 1, so it's just y equals, I don't need to write 1x, I can just write x plus 3. That's the gradient intercept form. You should be pretty familiar with that one by now. Gradient point form, y minus y1 equals m, x minus x1. So we use this if we know the gradient and we're given a point. The coordinates of the point in general form are x1, y1. So let's find the equation of a line with a slope of -3. So we know m is -3, and the point -2, 4. It's worth your while just labeling those points to make sure you've got your head around exactly which one is x1 and y1. Sounds silly, but the number of people who make mistakes in exams, I would probably do that. Now I go ahead and just substitute into my equation. Y minus 4 equals -3. X take away -2. Time to pretty it up. Negative 3x. That's a positive 2, but when I times it by 3, negative 3, I get negative 6. Add 4 to each side. Y equals negative 3x minus 2. You can always check your work. If I substitute in negative 2, I'd have negative 3 by negative 2 is 6. When I take away 2, I get the y coordinate of 4. So you know you've got it right. 2-point form. Obviously you use this when you're given 2 points. You can also use a different method to work it out, but I'm going to go with this, and I think you'll be happy with it too. Let's have a look. I'll show you both methods. So first of all, label these points: x1, y1, x2, y2. Now it's straightforward. Y minus 3 equals y2 is 0, take 3 over next to 2 minus negative 1 multiplied by x minus negative 1. Y minus 3 equals negative 3 over 3 times x plus 1. Negative 3 over 3 is just negative 1, so it's going to be easy. Y minus 3 equals, if I expand negative 1, I've got negative x, take 1. Add 3 to each side. Y equals negative x plus 2. Now I promise you there'd be another way. We can still just use y equals mx plus c. First we find the gradient. Remember your gradient, y2 take y1 over x2 take x1. 0 minus 3 over 2 take negative 1. Negative 3 over 3. So gradient is negative 1. What that tells me is my equation must be in the form, so I conclude from that y equals negative x plus c. Now I can sub in one of the points and find out c. So I'm going to choose to sub in the point 2, 0. So I'm going to have 0 equals negative 2 plus c. This tells me when I add 2 to each side that c is equal to 2. Now I know the gradient and the y-intercept. We're back to our first example. Y equals negative x plus 2. You can see you get the same answer. Alright, I hope that helps. Cheers.